I'm from Arlington Heights, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago.
How's it been as an out-of-state student?
I'm really glad that I'm still close enough to home that I can go home for different breaks and things like that. But I'm still far enough away from home that I was able to, cut the cord, so to speak. Before I came to college, my mom kind of talked about how she didn't get involved with a campus church and how she really sort of felt like something was missing from her life. And so I kind of took that, and I guess I wasn't really planning on maybe getting involved in a church. I was kind of seeing where college was taking me. Sure. And I grew up United Church of Christ, so it's very similar to United Methodist. And the closest United Church of Christ church was actually in Lafayette, and so I really have no transportation to get to Lafayette.
So how did you first get involved with Wesley?
Actually, so it was around October of my freshman year. I was kind of feeling like, I kind of want to go to a church. So I actually Googled churches at Purdue and just started scrolling down the list and found Wesley. And so actually my first time coming to Wesley, I didn't know what the dress code was or anything like that. So I dressed up in a dress and I was like super fancy and I had no idea what to expect coming in. Yeah. But it's been a wild 1.5 years since then. I haven't regretted it.
Awesome. What are some of the ways you've been active here at Wesley?
So I have come to some of the Tuesday night devotions and some of the Sunday night programs as well. Past year, I was involved with winterization, so I was on the supplies and publicity committee. And recently, I was given a promotion, so I'm now the chair of the supplies committee. Being involved in a church kind of gives you a sense of community. And faith is a journey, and so even if you're not necessarily at a place where you feel like you belong in a church, the church will accept you. And the church answers your questions. Like there's the giant mural in the Wesley basement of all the questions that people have.
Or at least walk with you as you ask the questions.
Yeah, exactly. So, like even with stuff like midnight pancakes that Wesley does, I bring my friends to midnight pancakes and they're always talking about how lucky I am to have a place like Wesley to be able to go. And it's funny because I'll mention like on like a Wednesday I'll be at Wesley for studying and they're like, why do you go to church so much? And it's like, it's just kind of a community, and it's even if it's just a place to study because you can't find another study space on campus, it's always there.
You've been through some tough times recently.
So my dad had prostate cancer for I would say 4 years, and then this was I guess two months ago or so. I received a phone call at dinner, and I just happened to be sitting with the Wesley crew. And I received a phone call from my mom saying that my dad had been put in hospice and that she wasn't sure whether I needed to come home or not. And so actually I ended up spending the next 2 nights at yours and Lana's house and kind of getting like a nice home atmosphere because, being in a residence hall isn't always the best thing when you're going through a lot of trouble.
Sure.
So then I got another phone call from my mom saying that I needed to come home. And so immediately so many people from Wesley volunteered to just drive me to Chicago, go out of their way. Luckily, one of my cousins came to pick me up. And so I went home, and my dad passed away. And so I think it was 2 weeks later, we had the service. And although the weather was really bad, and so unfortunately the people from Wesley couldn't make it, but I just felt so much love and support from Wesley. Some people made me cookies, and I just felt a constant feeling of love and support with everybody at Wesley. And it's really nice to have that sort of family because when you're in college you can feel sort of lost and alone. Wesley kind of gives you like a nice family atmosphere here.
Well, we continue to pray for you and for your family.
Well, it's all an adventure that comes with a breathtaking view. Walking a tightrope with you. Ooh, 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 ooh. With you. Ooh, 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 with you.
Any exciting news in the supply area of winterization for alums that have experienced that?
Yeah, we recently received a $500 donation, and so that's quite exciting. So we've been talking to a couple different companies about providing items at cost for us. We just recently received our 1,000th rake, So we all signed that. So we now have 1,000 rakes in the Wesley basement. I think it's the highest concentration of rakes in Indiana currently.
That's what I've been told anyway.
Yeah, so, you know, we just keep growing and improving with winterization. It's crazy to think it started out so many years ago and it was so small and it's just grown to what it is today.